uncovered every secret from the last 30 years.
And I have given all the proofs of who was involved with Diddy. I have presented the videotape of Diddy's parties as evidence. Now no one can save Diddy and the other celebs. Jay-Z, all of them were Diddy's handlers. After watching the rest of the documentary, you'll understand.
The internet thought hip-hop drama had finally reached its limit. You know, the routine, diss tracks, shady Instagram captions, interviews that sound like someone accidentally left the group chat open. For years, fans have watched the tension between some of the biggest names in the culture, like it's a never-ending reality show. But just when people thought the timeline had calmed down, a new Netflix documentary connected to 50 Cent dropped, and suddenly, the internet sat up like someone had whispered a secret into a microphone. At first, the documentary looked like any other hip-hop project. It started with stories about the rise of the music industry, business moves that turned rappers into billion-dollar brands, and reflections on the early days of the culture. The kind of storytelling fans expect when legends start looking back on their careers. But then the tone slowly shifted. Instead of simple nostalgia, the conversation drifted toward power, influence, and the behind-the-scenes moments that most fans never hear about. And that's when two names entered the conversation that instantly made the timeline explode: Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z. The moment those names appeared, the internet reacted like someone had dropped a plot twist into a reality show. Clips from the documentary started spreading across social media faster than people could finish watching the episode. Comment sections filled with reactions, theories, and debates about what the story really meant. Some viewers believed the documentary was finally opening the door to stories the industry had kept quiet for years. Others argued that the internet was exaggerating a small moment into a huge controversy. But regardless of which side people believed, one thing became clear immediately. Whenever 50 Cent, Sean Diddy Combs, and Jay-Z appear in the same conversation, the internet prepares for drama. Memes started appearing across timelines within minutes. Reaction channels rushed to upload breakdown videos analyzing every word from the clip. Fans replayed the moment again and again, trying to figure out what exactly had been revealed and what it might mean for the larger story of hip-hop. Because when power, history, and rivalry collide in the same conversation, people know one thing. The moment the documentary clip started circulating online, the curiosity across the internet grew almost instantly. What originally looked like a normal segment about hip-hop history suddenly felt like something bigger. Viewers who had watched the episode began sharing small pieces of the conversation, and those clips quickly found their way onto every social media platform. People who had not even seen the documentary yet were already discussing it. That's how viral moments work. Once the internet notices something unusual, the story spreads faster than the original source. To understand why the moment caught so much attention, you have to look at the history surrounding the names involved. 50 Cent, Sean Diddy Combs, and Jay-Z represent three very different paths to power in hip-hop. Each of them built massive influence in the industry, but they did it through different styles and strategies. Their careers overlap across decades of music, business partnerships, and competition. For many fans, the conversation felt like a glimpse into an era when hip-hop was transforming from a music movement into a global business empire. During that period, record labels, clothing lines, and media companies were being created by artists who wanted control over their careers. The industry was evolving quickly, and with that evolution came intense competition. Every major decision could change the direction of someone's career. When the documentary began discussing that era, the tone shifted from celebration to something more reflective. Instead of simply praising success stories, the conversation hinted at the complicated dynamics that existed behind the scenes. The music industry is known for rivalries, alliances, and power struggles that rarely appear in public interviews. Hearing those moments referenced in a documentary naturally made viewers pay closer attention. As soon as the clip started trending, fans began revisiting older interviews and public moments involving these figures. Social media users quickly searched for past statements that might connect to the documentary discussion. Old videos resurfaced across timelines as people tried to piece together the larger history behind the story. In a matter of hours, the internet had turned into a research project. Some viewers believe the documentary was providing a deeper understanding of how business relationships shaped hip-hop's growth. They pointed out that the industry's biggest figures often had to navigate complex partnerships and rivalries to build their brands. According to that perspective, the story being discussed might simply highlight the realities of building an empire in such a competitive environment. Others interpreted the moment very differently. They believed the conversation hinted at tensions that fans had only partially seen over the years. In their view, the documentary moment felt like someone lifting the curtains slightly to reveal what happens behind closed doors. Even if the details were subtle, the possibility alone was enough to keep people talking. Meanwhile, commentary pages and reaction channels began analyzing every part of the segment. Some creators paused the footage repeatedly to discuss tone and wording. Others created longer videos explaining the historical context behind the conversation. These breakdowns quickly attracted thousands of viewers who were eager to understand the story from multiple perspectives. Memes also began appearing across social media. Some joked that hip-hop history is more dramatic than a television series. Others compared the documentary moment to a plot twist in a movie where the audience suddenly realizes there is a deeper storyline underneath the surface. The humor helped spread the clip even further. At the same time, many fans began discussing the personalities involved. 50 Cent has always been known for speaking openly about industry dynamics. His reputation for direct commentary often sparked strong reactions from audiences. That reputation alone made viewers pay closer attention to anything he might say in the documentary. On the other side of the conversation were Sean, Diddy, Combs, and Jay-Z, both widely respected for their influence in building the business side of hip-hop. Their impact goes beyond music into fashion, media, and entrepreneurship. Because of that influence, any discussion involving their names immediately attracts attention from fans and commentators. As the discussion continued spreading online, the story slowly transformed into something much larger than the original documentary segment. Fans debated the meaning of the conversation across forums, comment sections, and reaction videos. Each new interpretation added another layer to the growing narrative. By the end of the day, the documentary clip had become one of the most discussed moments in hip-hop media that week. Some viewers believed it was simply an interesting piece of history being shared. Others believed it hinted at deeper industry stories that might eventually surface. But no matter which interpretation people believed, the impact of the moment was undeniable. The conversation had reopened interest in the complicated history between some of the most powerful figures in hip-hop culture, and as fans kept replaying the clip and sharing their thoughts, one question remained at the center of the entire discussion. If this was only the beginning of the story, what else might still be waiting to be revealed? Once the documentary moment began spreading across social media, the internet did what it always does best: turn curiosity into full-blown investigation mode. The clip was suddenly everywhere. TikTok creators were reposting it with dramatic captions. Instagram pages were posting screenshots, and YouTube reaction channels were racing to upload breakdown videos. People who hadn't even watched the documentary yet were already discussing it like they had front row seats to the entire story. That's the strange power of viral content. One moment inside a long episode can become the only thing everyone talks about. TikTok quickly became the center of the online reaction. Creators started editing the clip with suspenseful music and zoom-ins on key moments. Some treated it like a movie scene where the audience realizes the plot is about to twist. Others paused the video and explained their theories about what the conversation meant. Within hours, thousands of videos were circulating with different interpretations of the same moment. The more the clip spread, the more people felt like they needed to join the conversation. Meanwhile, Twitter, now known as X, turned into a mix of jokes and serious debate. One viral tweet joked that hip-hop documentaries should come with plot twist alerts before certain scenes. Another tweet said the industry always looks calm on the surface until someone starts telling old stories. Those posts quickly collected thousands of reposts because they captured the chaotic energy of the situation. People weren't just watching the clip. They were reacting to the possibility that something bigger might be hidden inside the story. At the center of the debate was the tone of the documentary itself. Some viewers believed the conversation hinted at deeper industry dynamics that most fans rarely hear about. The music business is built on power, partnerships, and competition. And sometimes those relationships become complicated. According to that perspective, the documentary might simply be showing how ambitious artists navigated the industry while building their empires. Others believe the internet was exaggerating the moment. They argue that social media has a habit of transforming brief statements into massive controversies. To them, the documentary segment might have been part of a larger historical discussion rather than a dramatic revelation. But even the people making that argument continued discussing the clip online, which only helped keep the story trending. Gossip pages and entertainment blogs quickly joined the conversation. Their posts used dramatic headlines designed to grab attention and encourage viewers to watch the clip themselves. Some captions suggested the documentary had revealed shocking industry secrets. Others framed the moment as a reminder that the history of hip-hop is filled with complicated relationships. Regardless of the angle, those posts drove more viewers toward the documentary. Another interesting development was how fans began revisiting older interviews involving the artists mentioned in the discussion. The internet has an incredible memory when it comes to celebrity history. Old videos resurfaced where similar topics had been mentioned years earlier. People compared those past moments with the documentary clip, searching for connections that might explain the larger story. At the same time, reaction channels on YouTube continued posting long analysis videos. Some creators spent 20 minutes explaining the timeline of hip-hop's business expansion and how different artists built their influence. Others focused on the personalities involved, discussing how each figure developed a different strategy for success. These videos attracted large audiences because they provided context for viewers who were trying to understand the situation. Memes also played a major role in spreading the story. Some images joked that hip-hop history has more unexpected twists than a television drama. Others compared the documentary clip to a moment in a mystery film where the audience realizes something important has just been hinted at. Humor helped the conversation reach audiences who might not normally follow hip-hop news. Meanwhile, the larger cultural conversation continued growing. Some fans began discussing how documentaries can change the way people view history. When artists share personal experiences or perspectives, those stories can add new layers to events that fans thought they already understood. In this case, viewers were curious whether the documentary might eventually reveal more details about the moment being discussed. At the same time, the presence of powerful names in the conversation made the story even more compelling. Figures like 50 Cent, Sean Diddy, Combs, and Jay-Z represent decades of influence in music and business. Their careers shaped the direction of the culture in many ways. Any discussion involving their history naturally attracts massive attention. As the online debate continued, one thing became clear. The documentary moment had grown far beyond its original context. Instead of a single segment inside a streaming episode, it had turned into a larger conversation about hip-hop history, power dynamics, and the stories that shaped the culture. By the end of the day, the timeline was still buzzing with theories, jokes, and reactions. Some fans believed the documentary might eventually reveal deeper insights about the industry. Others thought the internet had simply discovered a new topic to debate for a few days. But regardless of which interpretation people believed, the impact of the moment was undeniable. The documentary clip had become one of the most talked about pieces of hip-hop media that week, and as the discussion continued spreading across social media, one thing was certain: the internet wasn't finished talking about it yet. As the conversation kept spreading across the internet, the story slowly moved into the stage that every viral moment eventually reaches the aftermath. The initial shock had already hit the timeline. The memes were everywhere, and reaction videos were stacking up across every platform. Now the audience was waiting for the next chapter. Because whenever a documentary sparks this much discussion, fans expect someone involved to eventually respond. Meanwhile, the clip continued circulating across social media like it had its own life. People who hadn't even watched the full documentary were suddenly debating the story online. That's the strange rhythm of the internet. A short clip can become more famous than the project it came from. The more people shared the moment, the more interpretations started appearing. Some viewers began stepping back and looking at the bigger picture behind the conversation. Hip-hop has always been driven by competition and ambition. Artists have spent decades building brands, labels, and business empires while navigating rivalries and partnerships. From that perspective, the documentary moment might simply highlight the intense environment that shaped the culture. During its most powerful years, other fans believed. The discussion hinted at deeper stories that have never been fully explained. In entertainment media, documentaries sometimes reveal small pieces of history that point toward larger narratives. The possibility that there might be more behind the moment kept people curious. Many viewers started wondering whether future interviews or episodes might eventually provide additional context. The personalities involved also kept the story interesting. 50 Cent has spent years building a reputation as someone who speaks openly about industry dynamics. Whether through interviews, television projects, or social media posts, he has never been shy about sharing his perspective. That reputation made viewers pay close attention to anything he mentioned in the documentary. On the other side of the conversation were Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z, two figures whose influence extends far beyond music. Both have spent decades building businesses that reach into fashion, media, and global partnerships. Their presence in any industry discussion naturally brings attention because their impact on hip-hop history is enormous. Because of that influence, fans began debating the potential meaning of the documentary conversation. Some believed it might encourage more open discussions about how power operates within the music business. Others believed the story would simply fade away once the internet found a new trending topic to discuss. Even so, reaction channels and commentary pages continued producing content about the moment. Creators posted breakdowns, timelines, and opinion pieces about what the documentary might have been referencing. Each new video added another perspective to the conversation. And as long as people kept watching those reactions, the story stayed alive. Another interesting result of the viral moment was the sudden increase in interest in the documentary itself. People who had never planned to watch it began searching for the episode. Streaming platforms and entertainment blogs mentioned the story as part of larger discussions about hip-hop media. In many ways, the online reaction helped introduce the project to an even wider audience. At the same time, some fans began reflecting on how quickly the internet can transform content into controversy. A single moment inside a documentary had turned into days of debate and speculation. That transformation highlights how modern audiences participate in storytelling. Viewers don't simply consume content anymore, they analyze it, interpret it, and expand the conversation far beyond the original message. Eventually, like most viral stories, the conversation began sharing space with new trending topics. Another headline would appear, another clip would start circulating, and attention would slowly shift elsewhere. That's the natural rhythm of social media. The spotlight moves quickly from one story to the next. Still, the documentary moment left an impression on fans who follow hip-hop culture closely. It reminded viewers that the industry's history is filled with complicated relationships, powerful personalities, and untold stories. Even decades later, those moments continue shaping the narrative of the culture. For 50 Cent, the documentary reinforced his ability to spark major conversations whenever he speaks about the industry. His voice carries weight because of his long history within the culture. When he shares perspectives about the past, audiences naturally listen. For Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z, the situation highlighted how deeply their legacies are connected to the broader story of hip-hop's growth. Their careers represent an era when artists transformed themselves into global entrepreneurs and cultural icons. By the time the internet started moving on to new discussions, one thing had become clear. The documentary clip had done more than entertain viewers. It had reignited curiosity about the hidden chapters of hip-hop history. And if the past has proven anything about stories involving powerful figures in the music industry, it's this. Sometimes the most interesting parts of the story appear when people start looking back. And just like that, one moment from a documentary turned the entire internet into a hip-hop investigation squad. 1 minute people were casually scrolling through their timelines, and the next minute everyone was replaying the clip, analyzing every word and debating what it really meant. That's the power of a viral moment. When a story involves some of the biggest names in music history, The internet doesn't just watch. It studies every detail like it's solving a mystery. Some fans believe the documentary simply gave viewers a deeper look at the competitive world behind the music industry. Others believe the moment hinted at stories that fans have never fully heard before. And when names like 50 Cent, Sean Diddy Combs, and Jay-Z appear in the same conversation, the